Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legends Symbiosis. Sorry about the scheduling weirdness. I've lost some of my normal recording time during the day because there are renovations going on in our small building that is not soundproofed at all, it turns out. And I lost a bunch of my usual recording time, but we're here now. Hopefully it won't be too disruptive. So let's talk about the situation we're in. I think it's actually kind of interesting. It's more complex than it seemed at the end of the last episode. So you can see here, I figured out what the deal is that gets Pink to buy us into this war. Unfortunately, getting Dustwater off of them turns out to be very expensive, and we do actually need 30 from them if we're going to try to bring the Urkan on our side this way, because somebody bought up all of the Dustwater that's on the market. But while I was examining the situation as a whole, I discovered that Pink is now at war with 3 of the other players, and those 3 players are all at mutual peace with one another. So a power block is formed in response to whatever it is that Purple's doing. It could be they're just having a bad response to Purple controlling a significant amount of the sea, but it's also possible that Pink but it's also possible that Pink has a large land empire. We aren't really in a good position to know. Like, there's this. Pink owns some amount of this, and we don't have any idea how much. So I've been contemplating here. I've been thinking about this. First of all, I do want to say that I think this is really cool. This is a cool sort of political situation that has developed here. I definitely think the Endless Legend community patch has a lot to do with it. My favorite part of the community patch is the way that it makes the AI players feel more like people playing the game and less like sort of obstacles for you to conquer on the way to you winning the game. I don't necessarily think that the latter style of competition is an invalid design choice or anything. I think you can make a perfectly reasonable game where all of the external forces are just like world obstacles, sort of. But I like this. I like this a lot. So, what I've been thinking is, Red keeps asking us for peace, right? We've gotten a number of those offers. Maybe we don't want to go to war with Red. Maybe we want to join up with the coalition here and see if we can't make ourselves some friends. If we go to war with Red on Pink's behalf, there's a couple of things that I'm worried about happening. Number one, obviously Green is too far away to be any kind of real threat, but I'm definitely worried about Purple. In particular, like, these golem camps are tricky to defend. It's possible that Purple would not declare war on us because they don't care enough about their friend being at war. It's possible Purple would not declare war on us even if they do care because they're too afraid of Blue. They don't want to move their military away while there are necrophages right up in their stuff. But it's also possible they do declare war and just run us the hell over, right? We have a military that is maybe capable of fighting Red. We don't even know that for sure. I doubt we could fight both Red and Purple. If we friend up with the coalition here, we don't have to worry about that, obviously. And if we do end up getting dragged into the war against Pink, I think it's actually less dangerous for us. Obviously, the seas will be tremendously unsafe, but Pink is unlikely to have a terribly powerful land army, or at least unlikely to have a terribly powerful land army that they can hit us with, because it seems like they're busy, yeah? If we go to war with Red on Pink's behalf, I don't think we can count on them contributing troops, and it's entirely possible that Pink's not putting any pressure on Red at all, because we don't know what this situation over here looks like. It could be that Pink is currently engaged in fighting with Green, and most of their troops are busy. And we know that Red has a large army. We saw a lot of units recently. The last units of Reds that we got to look at did not have great stats, but there were a lot of units that we saw that we didn't get to look at because they were in transport ships, right? So we don't actually have a good sense of how advanced Red's army is. Maybe we could... Let's see. They are unafraid due to the strength of their navy, which is not exactly terrifying. Let's see what techs they have that we don't have. So they have Rare Metal Foundry. They have some high tier stuff. They have Signal Corps. So they have 8-unit armies. Can we trade them? We cannot trade them any weapons tech or anything. They have all of the weapons tech that we have. It seems like I'm kind of thinking that maybe we want to change plans. Maybe this is not a thing that I would have done if I had played this game straight through in one session, but with the benefit of a moment to reconsider here, I'm thinking that maybe going to war with Red is a pretty dangerous proposition, especially given how little we know about the state of the world. If we don't go to war with Red, that does mean we're going to have a hard time expanding, obviously. We could try to, since we have an army, we have troops running up here that have actual stats, we could take all of our bodies over to Enolia and try to take Fakir over by force instead of buying him off. And doing that will allow us to uproot him and then drop a city in Enolia. Although, I don't know that we would necessarily. You know what, if he's just hanging out in Enolia, he's gathering Titan bones for us. What are his powers? Plus and minus dust, initiative and movement for friendly units, and attack and damage for friendly units. Okay, so nothing terribly great, but having him as a military force could help keep us safe. Like, do I think we can win the game from the five provinces that we have now, the 5 regions we have now? Honestly, I don't know. Arindla is pretty effective, and it's only going to get more effective. We can continue to build it out quite a bit. We are... let me pin our faction quest here. Oh, it is pinned. Okay. So we will be able to make level 4 units as soon as we enter Era 4, which is in 1 turn plus 1 tech. Then we just have to make ourselves some Harmonites. Yeah, they have to be minor factions. So we'll do totally base level Harmonites. We'll just run them in here with Hokiawai at their head. It shouldn't be too hard as long as we can keep Red from closing their borders on us. Yeah, and like, I don't know exactly how much more there is to do. I have a vague memory of being asked to volcano form an entire region at some point during the faction quest when we played them long ago. Is Arindla a place where we could reasonably do that? I'm just thinking, like, because part of the territory here is carved out already. That's volcanic, so, I mean, we're talking about a lot of volcano formers still. I think this might be the region that it would be easiest to do it in, though. Maybe Sayap? This is part 5. That's going to be part 6 or 7. We might be actually pretty close to the end of this thing. And if we're pretty close to the end of this thing, then I have to think that we do have a chance of winning a quest-based victory. Okay. I'm not going to declare war on Red. Maybe this is a bad decision. I think the situation we're in here politically is really interesting. And we might even come back to this and try the other branch, right? We have a save right here at this crucial point, so we could do that. We could come back. We could come back after we see how this works out and try it with the attack on Red. I think that is probably a thing worth doing. So for right now, let's just go ahead and put this guy in here. And I guess we just want to throw Hokiawai in control of one of these dudes, right? Because we don't want to leave her in control of Arindla. We want to get the governor who we bought for that purpose in control of Arindla. And if we're not going to war immediately, we can fan out a little bit and like grab the 10 pearls that are up here on this deposit. And I guess we'll have this be the army that she runs. Let's grab you here. And then in Arindla, we gotta put what's her name back? Ululani Raui. Okay. So let's try to gather people up for an attack on Fakir. I would still love to take control of the Urkan. I don't know what exactly we're gonna do with it, and if Red offers us peace again, we probably just take it. If we offered Red peace, would he okay, he would. Wow, not only would he go for it, he'd give us stuff for it. Maybe this is a better way to do this? Pretty stingy with the Titan bones, Could we get enough of those to run the booster, though? Really? You don't have Imperial coinage? Huh. Mithrite almost gets us there. I don't know that this is worth all of our influence. So if we're going to end up with the same number of cities that we currently have, this plan at 600 influence starts to look a little bit more sensible. We have 6 turns left of 65 influence per turn, which is, what, 380 more influence? So we'll definitely be able to pull off the 600. Yeah, actually, maybe we just stay internal. So my concern here is, first of all, I know that I am prone to seeking internal victories when aggressive victories are on the table. Like, this is the style I prefer to play, just focus on making the numbers go up, and that means that sometimes I do it when it's not the right thing to do, so I'm aware that that could be happening here. It's also possible that I'm getting scared off by the possibility of a two-front war that I don't really know we could win either front of, but I do think our position is precarious. Yeah, let's stick to the new plan. So, we have some time here to build some things. Geomic Labs. Are Geomic Labs sensible here? Not really. They're not great. Oh, I still need somebody to come down here and volcano form this. Well, I mean, we have lots of people. Somebody can certainly go do that. Okay, here. This guy hasn't moved yet this turn. Get over here and drop a volcano form. So how long does it look like that other tech's going to be? You know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect anything. We're just going to research it either way, so I may as well just wait and see at the beginning of the next turn. Okay, 80 dust and 50 science. We can see some sparkles over here. We are not going to take any of Green's pearls because I am trying not to antagonize them. That's a C region, right? That's got to be. Yeah, so purple is not currently fighting pink with their Urkan. It's hard to know exactly what's going on up there. We just know too little about the world. So I'm going to let all of these troops finish. I mean, it's good to have a standing army. I don't feel bad about all the unit building. This keeps us from being a total walkover for somebody. But we're probably going back to infrastructure after this. So how many people do I think it's actually going to take to fight Fakir? Fakir has pretty good attack and damage stats. We're going to take a lot of damage in the fight. But we're not necessarily in any danger of losing it. Definitely take Heat of the Hearth, even if it doesn't put us up an approval quantum, because obviously it's very important to us to get to the stuff that is beyond it. Okay, what are we building this thing out of? Probably glass steel, right? I think that makes sense. And hey, it's another one of those offers of peace. So obviously we could... Here, let's try to counter-propose now. So now he's paying the influence cost for the peace. And we can take ourselves a little something cheaply. He'd be willing to give us 18 pearls for peace. That makes it way more sensible for us to put up one of the special district types. Kind of like that idea. How many Titan bones could we get off of him for just this trade, straight up? Okay, hey, that was a pretty good guess. Is there... No, not a lot of Titan bones available on the market. There is a ton of wine available on the market. We don't actually need the wine. Like, the moment the winter ends, we'll be back to ecstatic everywhere. Or, back to fervent everywhere. But we don't know how long it's going to be, and it could be a full 10 turns. It's probably worth just buying the wine and running the booster, right? Or, like, could we get back on Moonleaf? Was there 15 Moonleaf? There's, like, a ton of Moonleaf, actually. Okay. Maybe I just take pearls. Let's take the version of this deal that is just pearls. That only costs us 32 influence. That's not going to push us down an empire plan or anything. They are worried due to the weakness of their armies. I bet that does in fact mean that they've been fighting pink and that it's not going super well. Well, let's hope that we haven't talked ourselves onto the losing side of this war. Okay, we have a lot of pearls to work with now. So let's group up and get ready for a fight. You can merge up here. You can run up to join them. You don't have any movement left. That's a little awkward. We can't quite get them together this turn. And we should probably send these guys out as well. Oh, you know what? This Stone Sentinel is slowing this army down. Oh, they had 1 point of extra movement. Yeah, the 2 needs to get retrofitted. Okay, let's talk about what to do with all of this dust then. Well, here in Rexos, the Advanced Alchemy Lab wouldn't even be very good, so the fact that we can't build it probably doesn't matter too much. That's right, we have lots of units that need to run up here and join up. And actually, I think these two are going to be able to end their turns on the same tile. Yeah, because this guy has just a little bit of extra move. So that's convenient. It helps lower the dust upkeep that we're paying for our units. So Rexos would probably just build another burrow. Probably like the smart play. Build toward the Black Earth. We'll drop a volcano former maybe directly on it. It won't hit this tile, but the rest of our... Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's do that, and I think we're probably jumping back to food. In a couple of places we can definitely afford to jump back to food. Sayap definitely still has some things that I would like to get done first. Probably like these in that order, I think. You can get up here and search this. Okay, so green does still have some functional garrisons. Another 80 dust and 50 science. I mean, all that science adds up. So in 3 turns, we'll be able to start the construction of the 4 Harmonites, who are going to help us move the quest along. Probably it'll be like 2 in Umgar and 2 in Sayap. They're both pretty constructive. Is that a real word? Constructive? Listen, even if it's not a real word, you know what it would mean in this context. They're pretty good at constructing. Alright, so let's spend money. We are at 77 Empire approval. We're going to buy the Moonleaf for lots of reasons, so let's just go ahead and do that, and then we can figure out how we want to get to Fervent for the rest of the winter. So we would only need a 5 approval booster, like a small booster, a tier 1 booster would do it. We're not going to get any bonus approval out of Sayap, though. Maybe that means we will need to have more than 5 points, because now it's, now the gain is weighted below 100%, because one of our cities won't see its approval boost anymore. Well, what's available? What can we get to 30 on? It wouldn't be too hard to get up that Quicksilver. I don't really like the Quicksilver effect, though. The Hydromiel is expensive enough that it would be a little bit prohibitive to do. Spices? Spices are doable. Not terribly expensive. The effect is pretty nice. And if winter ends while the effect is still running, it won't feel like a waste in the way that like the wine will feel a little bit wasted, because we already know that we would be fervent without it. Yeah, we could make the spices happen. It's way more expensive than the wine, but the effect is also considerably better. Alright, so we're going to have to sell a little bit of something. Probably we can go ahead and sell off the Quicksilver, which I'm not a huge fan of. The Quicksilver would allow us, I suppose... What am I doing? I'm not even entering numbers into the right pane here. If we ran the Quicksilver while building Harmonite in Arindla, where we have the Coney School of Riders, we actually could have them come out as level 4s right now, I guess. But I don't know that that actually saves us a lot of time, because they'd have to walk all the way across our empire. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so in order to get 5 spices, we gotta get to 133. Can we sell this stuff? We totally can. Do I want to sell that stuff? Maybe we'd be better off selling something else. Like, probably not going to use this blood crystal. And actually, pixie blood is completely useless except for selling it and trading it. So that seems like an okay way to do that. Okay, that's got us up to fervent. And even though it is winter, we still have some cities where we're producing a considerable amount of food. This will be quite a buff. Alright, so in 2 turns, when we finish our dust refinery... Do I want to finish the granary first? I really do want the granary. Yeah, in 2 turns, when we finish our public granary, we'll want to start building Harmonite units. Okay, I think we're on a plan here. We're on some kind of plan. Is it the right plan? That's a great question. I have no idea. Alright, we have 52 pearls. So we now have access to the Abbey of Anomalies, or the Luxury Intensifier, or the Strategic Intensifier, or we could pick up the Winter Burrow, which is certainly powerful during the winter. I think this is something we would probably hold off on, because it's expensive enough to build in terms of pearls that we're not going to build them everywhere anyway. We might build it in the city, or rather buy it out, in the city that wants to build the Wonder to win, depending on how winters fall. But I think the Abbey of Anomalies is immediately useful in a couple of places, right? Like, we definitely would want to build one in Omgar. We certainly have a use for one in Graldam. Rexos could build one immediately, or could build it on this thing. In Arindla, an Abbey of Anomalies on the Golden Tree is just... That's a very good tile. Holy crap, that would be a good tile. And building it would level up it. Yeah, actually, that's awesome. Okay. Abbey of Anomalies it is. I think this is the right call. So 20 pearls into that, and then they cost 10 pearls each. Well, we know what you're doing next. So in case I wasn't clear, sorry, I've been mousing over it really quickly. The Abbey of Anomalies doubles the output of the tile, and then also adds +5 food per level, and an additional 3 food if it's on an anomaly, but it literally must be, so that's kind of... It's weird that that second line, that bottom line says +3 on terrain with anomaly. But yeah, this is very good. This is very, very good here. We probably will hold off on Rexos and build it on the Black Earth for all the extra food, I think. You get quite a bit of extra food from it here as well. Oh, or we could build it on the geysers. Gives us no extra food, but quite a bit of extra industry. Yeah, that's certainly interesting. Okay, we have lots and lots of uses for it. Obviously, like, you almost always settle a city adjacent to an anomaly, right? So the Abbey of Anomalies is always a good one. We're going to put those 18 pearls that we got from that guy to good use. So if winter ends, that's sort of bittersweet for us. We're no longer suffering at all from the negative effect of this winter, but I actually really like all of this stuff being active. What is this? We have a lot of communication. They would love it if I would declare war on Pink very cheaply. I think that's unlikely to happen. And they want Alchemy Workshop, and they're willing to pay a small amount of palladium for it. I don't like either of those deals, frankly. Okay, the other players are noting that we have common friends. So, one thing that I think is really interesting about the development of this power block in this game is that previous to this, in Endless Legend, and then also in pretty much every other 4X I've ever played, when a power block forms like that, was like half the players in the game or more, it's usually because of the player. Either the player made friends with 2 people, and then those 2 people start to have a positive diplomatic modifier toward each other, or it's a bunch of AIs teaming up because the player has gotten out of control and they feel that they must stop him. You don't usually see it happen like completely outside of us, and then the factions are both trying to bring us into their side of the conflict a little bit. I think it's really interesting. Aw. Food production from sea and lake tiles is back to normal. That's a shame. We were taking huge advantage on that. Alright, so do we want to just get in the water? I think we probably just want to get in the water. Hold on, let's figure out what merging up here looks like. Why can I not retrofit you? Oh, I'm a tiny bit short on titanium. Well, let's go ahead and buy the titanium we need and get this guy up to speed. Because right now he didn't have full movement, and it was totally bumming everybody out. Okay, let's merge units together, make ourselves a couple of reasonably competent armies. Oh hey, I never gave Hakiawai their skill points. I have no idea, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, no idea what Pink's initiative values might look like. It is probably the case that Pink's army will be mostly minor faction units. The Morgar only get a single land unit, and it's a very, very weak one. It's like cultist preacher level weak. So their army, and their other unique units are naval units. So their army's going to be mostly made up of minor faction units, and I have no idea which ones they picked, so we have no idea what initiative they might have. I'm going to take this just in case it gives us enough initiative to fight them. And also, if we do somehow end up at war with Red, bonus initiative will be a little bit meaningful against Broken Lords, because their base initiative is pretty poor. Alright, let's prepare ourselves for going to fight this Urkan. We really haven't taken control of Urkans by force very often. It just hasn't been the way of things. Okay, I actually need somebody, you, come over here and give me some more volcano formation. So, let's see here. Do we want it right there, or on top of the Black Earth? We're planning to build another district here. I think it's on top of the Black Earth, so we don't actually drop it until next turn. Yeah, that's definitely right. Okay, you get to, again, just try not to antagonize green too much. Out of curiosity, I'm definitely not going to take this right now. That's an embarrassingly low price to buy me into that war anyway. We're not going to do this right now either. Out of curiosity, now that we're having common friends and everything, how do they feel about peace? Negative, but not hugely so. What about purple? Negative and hugely so. Okay. We could get this going with green, and thus make them unable to kill our scout. At the cost of a single technology. Okay. So right now, we're looking at 264 more influence that we're going to earn before we hit the Empire plan, which is going to put us at almost 700 influence. So as long as we spend less than 100 influence on this, we still get the big Empire plan we want. The thing is, if we try to negotiate this with us giving them attack and then them giving us some more stuff in response, we are going to miss out on that Empire plan. Let's see what it could be though. Okay, they would really love statistical methods. If I gave you that, oh wow, they'd be willing to give us some pretty interesting stuff in return. Not top tier stuff, but like reaping station we could actually use. So 203, that would mean that we'd have to make up an extra 100 influence somewhere. So we'd have to move some people in some other cities over to influence. And it would be a lot of people. Because in most places we're only getting 2 influence per citizen working influence. But this is a pretty good trade. It does bump us up into the next era immediately. We have sources of grass silk and stuff in our territory. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll figure this out. Okay. I don't like the fact that there's no luxury resource thing popped up. That means we have no new luxuries. Really? We have no tier 3 luxuries and a single tier 3 strategic. That's terrible. What a bad outcome. That's really bad luck. In a sense, I guess it doesn't matter all that much. It would have been really nice to have like some dust orchid or something, though. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks a lot. Okay, so that being the case, let's talk about some level 4 Harmonites. Ooh, they do not build quickly. Do we want to just put them first, or do I want to finish that public granary? Yeah, finishing the granary doesn't even increase the number of turns on the builds. Let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's going to be a minute. But we're working on it. Buyouts are probably not going to happen at plus 24 dust per turn. What would the buyout cost on each of those be? 1455. Yeah, I can't see that happening. So we're looking at 6 turns until the 4th one is built, and then probably 2 turns after that to actually walk over. These guys can start along the road. Yeah, like 2 or 3 turns. We are still moving along our faction quest pretty slowly. It's making me nervous. Alright, let's figure out how we can afford to get people over onto influence. And we have the population right here. Yeah, that's more than enough. Can we keep enough people on food to get another birth? Alright, so if we're trying to get to 600... move some people from Rexos over to here. If we have 3 turns to go, we're actually a little short right now. But with these guys over on influence, now we're looking at 282, right, over the next 3 turns, which is exactly the amount that we need. Public granary for that much Palladian? Probably not. Seems unlikely. I am actually totally fine with that winter effect. It looks like none of these winter effects are super meaningful to us. The guy is projected to move, but we're not actually afraid of him. Afraid of him going anywhere, remember, because he failed to move the last couple of times. I guess when he failed to move... Okay, I was going to say when he failed to move, this was a neutral region held by the other Urkan, but now it's a city region, so he still doesn't have anywhere to go, I think. We may be overdoing it. It's possible that I am overdoing this a little bit. Okay, we have proper peace with red, so he can't attack us. I think I'm going to refuse this. I don't think we need the Palladian very much, and I want to limit the amount of free stuff we give other players, especially if I'm not confident that they are not going to win the game. Yeah, war against somebody in the next 10 turns. I think that is unlikely to occur. What on... My mouse... Okay, I clicked exactly where my mouse still is. You all saw it. That was weird. I think we can just... I know these are getting expensive, but I think we can just make this one out of glass steel. I don't think we actually need glass steel for anything. And then this guy can just be on pearl grabbing duty. Alright, it being summer is going to help a little bit, because now we have more food coming in, so we'll be producing additional population in these cities a little faster. Maybe we could take a turn off of the second build of the Harmonites or something. And I mean, we can keep an eye on the amount of dust we get. Maybe it'll be feasible. We would have to get quite a windfall from some ruins or something in order for it to be feasible for us to buy out a unit. But we might be able to accelerate the end of one by 1 turn or something. That seems possible. Oh, actually, you know what this guy kind of needs to do? It would be good if he would come back down here and place another volcano former. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to stress about it too much. We'll get the pearl, and then we'll do it. And then he can grab the pearls over here. Maybe we end up picking up another one of those district types after all? I mean, we kind of have a lot of abbeys of anomalies that we would like to build. Probably not. Red is just getting his all of the stuff that he's built in this region massacred by minor factions, which means that he has no army over here. He's probably very busy fighting pink. Green is the first to defeat 3 armies led by a hero, so yeah, we know Green is indeed fighting pink. No big surprise there. We were pretty sure that was the case already. Those are the lice. Apparently those Urkan lice built some ships. It's possible that we've been underestimating their intelligence. That seems smarter than I think we've been giving them credit for. So if we were to attack him from right here... Okay, we need to wait 2 turns for these guys to end up in reinforcement range. You guys are just looking for stuff. Looking for ruins while trying not to piss anybody off. Okay, 10 mithrite is probably actually a fair amount of dust. Do I want to go back and get that? Yeah, we may as well. We don't see any ruins anywhere else around here. We were slowly learning more about the land masses of the world while we were doing this. And here in our new era... Probably this would be a good time for endless mechanisms. That might be a good way to get enough dust to to rush some stuff a little bit. So the lice are unlikely to attack us because they're in transport ships just like we are. In fact, I would go so far as to say I'm pretty sure they are not going to attack us. Pretty sure they're not going to attack us on this next turn either if we move quickly enough. What we want to do, probably, is just sail over to here. Red, don't you dare steal my Urkan. Oh, they're thinking about it. They're going to attack him. They attacked him. They got him. Damn it. Man, That's very disappointing. Long Fangs, what are you doing? We could reduce the cost of these units by another 12%. No, we should really just head for the big stat increases. Well, that doesn't really affect us, probably. Like, we were just trying to get him to have a little bit more security. But still, I'm annoyed. I'm going to put down this Abbey of Anomalies immediately. And then we can build back and get some district level ups, which will probably necessitate additional volcano formation. We're going to have to start building our volcano formers out of something else at this point. We've done very poorly on... Wait, did I not actually press that button? Oh, it won't let me put it down while the volcano former's there. That's right. I think we actually had that issue in a previous episode. Alright, well, start bringing in the grass silk. And here in Arindla, it probably is actually burrows. So we could build out this way. This gives us a little bit more volcanic terrain and more sea exploitation, which is definitely valuable. Would I rather get this first? I guess it doesn't really matter what order I do these in. This one keeps the city happier, but we're like way above 100, right? 1697. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are massively above 100, and this will give us more immediate industry. So let's do that first. And then when we put this down, it'll level both of those up to level 2. We'll stay focused on food there, that being the city that's going to build the wonder. If indeed we are able to build the wonder, it means that it really needs to have as many people in it as possible. 120 dust and 250 science. Really? That is a third of a turn of science output. That's pretty handy. Okay, We are allowed to attack even though we're at peace, but if we did that, they would just take it back immediately, and then they'll be very cross with us. It's probably not worth doing it. Let's just back off. We're not going to be able to get into a position where he's going to affect any of our cities anyway. Yeah, everybody just go home. We're going to have a lot of ruin searching to do in a moment here, so it's not like this is wasted time. Ooh, this is an army, though. We can have a look at these guys and have some sense of whether we might have been able to fight red. So the Kekators are not very impressive. Dust Bishop with 52 attack and 75 damage. Stalwart 12. Ooh, okay, so this guy has stats that are pretty comparable to the stats on our best Stone Sentinels. None of whom are in this army. So if this is the Stalwart design they're working off of right now, they probably have several of these. Obviously not like in Kakwag, but we know that their army had an awful lot of units in it. It may well end up being the case that we could not have won a war against them. If they're pumping out Stalwarts like this, and like this army is very ranged unit heavy. So let's see, if we had attacked Kakwag, assume these guys were not immediately in the area, but they show up afterward because they were headed toward the Urkan anyway, to take it back from us. Like, the land around here is pretty narrow. Choke points definitely favor the army that has the most ranged units, and their army is mostly ranged. They have Iraku here, who has... okay, his stats are pretty good, too. Yeah, I don't know. I think that actually would have been a tough one. It's possible that we would have been enough of a distraction for red to allow pink to push against them, but we know pink's fighting green, and we know they're not winning, because green was the one who got the reward for winning against people's armies with heroes in them, not... yeah, green got that award, not pink. So... who knows? Who knows? Maybe we will know. We may, like I said, we may go back and try it. Especially if this turns out not to be a win. If it turns out I'm too far behind to win the internal victory at this point. This has been a strange game. I've enjoyed it though. I like it when things turn out weird. It's another one of the advantages of playing with the very random map. We just barely have all the influence we need for this. That nice building cost reduction. Okay, so next turn we're gonna have endless mechanisms. I'm actually not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna wait right here. We'll just hit this ruin again in a moment. You... let's see. We could drop... it's a little awkward, because the place where I really want to drop the Volcano Farmer has a ruin on it. We could drop the Volcano Farmer here and get all these tiles and just like leave one unformed. I guess the question is this the place that we want to do the Volcano Form Everything quest? Because if it is, then we want to do this in such a way that we don't have to use one whole Volcano Farmer just for this tile. Although any Volcano Farmer that would hit this is going to hit at maximum 2 tiles, it's like pretty bad either way. I don't know. I haven't done the math yet. Okay, let's make it out of this. We'll go ahead and just drop it right here. It'll be a little bit before we would need any of this other stuff down there. Volcano formed anyway. That is totally fine. And then you need to get over here. And we drop a Volcano Former here too, right? Because we are exploiting some of these tiles already. Okay, I think we're ready to move on. No, we're not. Right, the capital has been indisposed for a while. Well, we don't need to have everybody on influence output anymore. Polyanoa has done some good work for us, though. Yeah, you also don't need to be doing that. You could probably go to food. I think we're okay with you on food. How many turns left on that volcano former? 2? It's a little awkward. Well, we could just build the burrow here. We could start on the burrow here, and then as soon as this ends, we put down the Abbey of Anomalies, then jump back over. Do we want to build an Abbey of Anomalies here next? It would only be 3 turns to build it. And, like, this is a pretty good tile to double up. Plus, this gets us a little closer to leveling that up. I mean, the city's just built in a really awkward way. I think we made the right choice for making sure that our start was as explosive as we could get it. I need to stop clicking that button. I know what unit it is that doesn't have orders. Okay. Yeah, I think we made the right start. Like, we ended up with a pretty powerful trio of initial cities that gave us a lot of options. Whether or not I have played the game well since then, I'm sure is a matter of debate. But I think the settle was right, at least. Okay, so Endless Mechanisms is now still 1 turn to research. That's annoying. Probably what we're seeing there is some kind of rounding issue. Are there ruins over here? I mean, we kind of need to keep this army close. So in fact, what I should do is drop 3 units from the army. You guys, just jump over there. Wait, 3? Why 3? 4 units from the army. You should come over here. Because we can escort these guys forward a little faster. And in fact, at this point, I think probably the best way to do this was to build them all in the cheapest way, and then we can retrofit them with the movement trinket afterward. I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly. Who knows if the movement trinket is even worth doing. Okay, we're going to end up fighting those... We're going to end up fighting that minor faction army, the neutrals. That's not a big deal. We should have no problem defeating them, I would hope, at this point. Let's see. 75 attack, 93 damage is actually pretty impressive. I am bummed out about that, because we're going to take some real damage here. Oh, and I don't get to start with any of my units on the table. That's awesome. Shit. We're actually going to... give him a little bit of a hard time here, because that guy's going to get pinned on the reinforcement panel. Yeah, that's very annoying. Okay, here's Mykara. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to free this guy. We're gonna have to just hack our way through. Okay, maybe I overestimated how much difficulty we were going to have killing that dude. Why would you run to there? This is what happens when I don't give specific orders. Like, that's the worst tile for that, for Mykara to have run to in a whole bunch of different ways. Do not let your units have ambiguous orders. I keep having to tell myself. Okay, so you're right where you need to be. You should probably... like, get in the water here, get these pearls, and then we'll search that next turn. Just sail straight across. And you guys have orders. Well, I know I don't want you to end up in here, so I guess just go to Amgar and join the garrison. Seems fine. We are definitely just building this here. Yeah, that's fine. And they are coming out at level 4. Okay, I did not do a bad brain. On occasion, I do a bad brain. You've seen this happen. But this time, I think maybe I have avoided it. Alright, so this turn we can start the move. We want to retrofit this guy before we move him at all. That's got to be the case with all of the new units. So first of all, Kia Y is right here. May as well search this. We're finding some pretty considerable amounts of science in these. Retrofit first. Retrofit. Okay, so Kia Y is actually slowing this army down a little bit. We get... That's not what I want. We get an improved movement trinket on you as well. Okay, there we go. We just have to make it over to here. We are going to do so. It's a little inconvenient. I guess that attack is totally fine. We need to involve all of the armies in that. Yeah, sure. Let's just knock these guys out. Retrofit you. Pop you out. They can just join the army. And then it's a very easy move from there. Open wounds. No regeneration on units. Cool. Not super relevant to us. We definitely want to pull in this Stone Sentinel and Feeds on Bones before any of the other units. Yeah, I don't think Open Wounds is super relevant here. Alright, so you get that one, you get that one, you get that one, and that ensures that we're not taking any sweep strike backs that actually hurt. Or we're not taking any sweep strike backs, rather, that actually hit multiple units. Yeah, our Stone Sentinel 4s are pretty good. Nope, you stay right where you are. Ow. Well, fortunately we have Last Stand. Okay, Mykara can get that second level of Stirring Dragoon. So yeah, your heroes and units gain XP from participating in battles, even if they didn't actually get into the battle, as long as they're on the reinforcement list. So you guys can jump in there. Okay, so next turn we have that search. It is turn 83. So where do we want you to go? I'm trying to figure out, like, how many of these ruin searches do we want Mykara to do? Do I want to delay the ones over here so that we can get the XP off of them? I think the answer to that is probably no. You know what I could do is I could just swap Mykara to control of this army. And then we could grab all the ruins over here and get all the XP. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing to do. $30 Dust Orchid. Hey, that's welcome. And yeah, you guys are just going to do exactly that. Yeah, these late game ruin searches are so powerful. You're finding a ton of science. What did we just finish? Right. Endless mechanisms, right. So we don't really know what needs to come next. I am inclined to pick up Industrial Processing and Borer's Guild if we're thinking about a wonder victory, a potential wonder victory. But we probably actually want to grab Hospitality Den. Because if we're thinking about approaching a victory notification, we need to make sure that there are players in the game who won't immediately kill us over that. $300 science that time. Pretty okay. I mean, that's a couple of level ups. We're going to have a very productive city here. Okay, 30 Dust Orchid is enough to pop a booster. Is there any reason that we would not just do this now? I guess we could try to save it for potentially the Wonder. But it's very good. I think we should use it to just accelerate growth all over the Empire. And then we should look at our other luxury options. Is there anything else that we would want to pop? I guess Dye would be pretty good to have running. And it's cheap enough. Yeah, when we get Hospitality Den in 3 turns, we'll have a better sense of how much influence we actually need. Blue is moving guys around near our border. Has Blue gone to war with anybody yet? Still no, remarkably. Okay, peace with these guys is looking a little more doable. Hey, they would give us peace for only all of our Mithrite. Well, let's hope that their opinion of us continues to climb. Let's see, there are some stockpiles available, but at this point, the amount of resources that we're getting from each stockpile is looking a little low, so I wonder if we should maybe... We could just buy these and... Well, I was going to say we could buy them and hold them. But if we research the stockpile text, the numbers will get shaved down anyway. I believe that when we research a stockpile tech and make these more effective, the cost for buying them from the market will go up, but I don't think the number of them on the market will be affected, so as long as we do still get them, which is to say we get that process done before the AI buys them all out. Yeah, maybe that's the next couple of researches, is stockpiles. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. I do want to get Hospitality Den done. I want to know what alliances would cost us. Alright, so we still have a lot of good ruin searching ahead of us. You guys should actually probably go this way. Well, actually, you know what? I shouldn't have them go anywhere just yet. We should do this ruin search. Because we don't know what's going to happen here. If there's a battle, I might want backup. Feeds on Bones is getting up to Inspirational Leader, which is lovely. Ali and Noah gets to give us Blazing Ingenuity, which is fine. Okay, let's do the thing. We've acquired the Sway of the Master. Can be equipped by Kopaku heroes only and gives them slavery. Okia has discovered the truth. You must come and see this, are the words she gave to the guide to relay to me. So I come, fearfully, for Custodian Tua and Overseer Lohis have disappeared. Some sights you can never forget. They sear into your mind, and you will carry them with you until your flame burns out. We reached the entrance tunnel to the underground site as night fell. Okia emerged from the shadows, eyes scanning the horizon behind us. It must have been only a matter of moons since I'd last seen her, but in her eyes I could see someone who'd aged half a lifetime. Thank the fires, she managed. You must be exhausted and famished. Rest tonight, and we go now. She nodded, and then snapped her fingers to call over her mount. We descended in silence, deep into the earth. The air grew hotter and murkier, enough so that I could remove my breathing mask, but it was a small comfort against my trepidation. The passage sides gradually smoothed from natural formations to artificial walls, and I gasped when I first spied the familiar symbols of the Endless, their carvings half eroded by time. Strange dead shells littered the ground, like the sloughed exoskeletons of giant insects. We passed a couple of crumpled suits, the fabric frayed, alien bones poking through the rips. Then we entered the facility proper. I still shudder at the recollection. Preservation stacks filled with corpses, each displaying different variations of fatal burns. Cylindrical fluid chambers where blind, crab-like tentacled menaces still twitched in time with our footfalls. Flickering screens documenting the terrifying evolution of a fungal phage on different host species. Every chamber greeted us with fresh horrors. Is this the Mykara? Is this a reference to the Mykara in the expansion before they actually came into the game? It could be. It was developed by the same people, right? What is this place? I stuttered. We believe it's an endless military lab. They must have been researching every conceivable means of mass killing. I was left speechless. The horror was too much to take in. We have uncovered another 2 facilities since I sent for you, even more in the weeks prior, all deserted. Everything suddenly fell into place. Auriga, the whole planet, must have been an endless research station. A secret world of horrors until some calamity had befallen it, forcing the Endless to abandon it. Evidently, the world had healed in the time since, and the survivors had emerged from their hideaways to reclaim the surface. And, in the Kapaku, the Endless had found a race capable of erasing their great shame. Completely. We were their hapless cleaners, and our survival mattered not a jot. It was then I knew we must find Custodian Tua. Try as I might, I couldn't believe she'd been anything but a victim of their deceit as well. With its horrifying experimental labs, Auriga became the Endless's great shame. Overseer Elohis thought it could use the Kapaku to destroy the evidence, no doubt using Custodian Tua as an orchestrator. Why had she helped, though? We need to find her. Find and defeat her. The traitor was last seen in the neighborhood of the region of Salamar. Where is Salamar? Is that a place we've seen? And we have vision of some of the world. Okay, this must be one of those things where we want to press our allies for some maps. How would you feel about a map exchange? Okay, not hugely negative. Negative enough that we're going to have to trade a tech for it, though. Well, we can certainly do this. Contract to its disadvantage. If a contract was to your disadvantage, you wouldn't have taken it. Straight up lying to me. Well, this might make them calm down a little bit. I was thinking maybe we could negotiate something off of them, but we'd have to wait a turn. Let's just go ahead and make the offer. This will reveal a lot of the world and hopefully calm them down. Okay, so that is actually a lot of information. Oh. Well, I'm actually really glad we didn't join in on Pink's side of this war. Apparently they're getting totally wrecked. We see... Okay, we do see Salamar. Alright, well, we know approximately where we're going. Purple's not actually at peace with us yet. We're going to need that to happen before we can... before we enter their land like that. But we know where we're going. We know what to do. Also, we get to search this ruin again. Hooray! And in 2 turns, we have a Dust Eclipse coming up, so we want to make sure that we keep people in position. I think probably now... the smart move would be to have Makani Che's army be the one that goes over there. They're closer and they're also better equipped. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do serious retrofit on them. Let's make sure that they are as ready as possible to encounter resistance. It's not gonna cost us too much to run down here and grab this ruin on the way over. Yeah, we'll do this. And then from here, we'll head in the direction of Salamar. I have to say, those were some pretty good maps. So now, this is a place where an advanced alchemy lab makes a lot of sense. Do we want to move people back to food, though? Probably. Let us continue to grow. So what do I do with your army? Okay, that is locked by the Lost Explorers, although actually... yeah, we could just go over there and search that ruin, and then on the way back search this again, because it will eclipse. Oh, check that out. They got a Leviathan just sitting here. A level 10 Leviathan. That's actually an incredibly terrifying unit. I guess they overcommitted on building seas. I mean, look at the cities. The 2 cities they have here are quite large, very powerful, and they love water exploitation, in case you're wondering why they built this way. Like, those are two good cities. They probably had more and lost it all. Okay, what do we want to do with you? Do I want to run all the way back over here? Yeah, it's probably worthwhile. Because we can Eclipse Search that, and then maybe get over here and Eclipse Search this before they do. Maybe. You probably shouldn't go too far. I guess we can do this. So now mostly what we're looking out for is blue suddenly declaring war on us. That would not be great. And I suppose these guys can just get in the water and search that, too. Sea Ruins also refresh when you get Mechanisms of the Endless. And next turn we'll have some idea. We may end up moving a bunch of people from Graldum back onto Influence. We'll have some idea what it would take to get allied. In particular, I'm interested in allying with red and purple. We don't necessarily need to ally with blue. Or, with green. And blue will come for us as soon as that victory notification lands, and we're just going to have to be ready for that. It's alright, we probably can be. Okay, blue's already declared war on us. A map exchange from pink is probably not going to show me a ton of new territory, but I'll take it. I'm fine with this. I don't think it helps them for them to know any of the stuff that we know. Okay, so we are fighting blue. Thing we're going to have to deal with. Where is that? This? Okay, so they're on our shores and they're at us right now. How bad is this? How strong are their units? Okay, that Forager's quite weak. That Orc is... That's an impressive amount of attack. It's weird that it outstrips all of his other stats by so much. Alright, so their units are okay. The Battleborn are going to be a little fiercer, but not too much. They're tough, though. That's a lot of health with a lot of defense. Yeah, this guy's... He's got both defense and health boost for his whole army, and attack boost. Jeez. Okay, well... Yeah, and here, this roaming army battle is, like, completely trivial. We'll just auto-resolve that. Hey, look, we defeated the Avenging Army. Hooray! That's actually a helpful amount of dust. It looks like we're going to need it. So we just have to let this Golem camp die, obviously. There's no sense in fighting them, because we just have to res Longfangs, and then they'd kill it anyway. Well, that's a pretty serious army. We definitely can't do the thing I was planning on doing. We have to turn around and get in participation range. The good news is we can get in participation range right at the beginning of this next turn. You can get over here. Alright, so we are certainly not out of the woods yet. This war with blue might be tough. They're feeling pretty triumphant. They're only at war with me. Okay. Let's talk alliance. An alliance that involves a declaration of war on blue. Is that at all possible? It absolutely is possible, actually. We'd have to generate quite a bit of influence, but that is a thing we could make happen. So that's probably going to be a focus of the next couple of turns. You got that done, so, I mean, you should probably do this in the way that moves you through the Pearl. Let's grab this. Remember to start putting that up. Okay, Red Sang's actually a pretty good resource. Extra XP on heroes. I don't really want to get distracted and have to move to fight blue with this army. I guess we'll see if it's necessary. You certainly just run back down here and wait. And you guys get in the water. Okay. So in Arindla, we are, I think... Oh, you know what? Advanced Alchemy Lab would be actually very good here. Let's get that done. We have a lot of districts. Oh, they have another huge army in the water. Okay, surviving this attack from blue is actually going to be a serious thing. We're going to have to devote all of our resources to it. Which sucks a little bit. Certainly not something I want to be doing right at this moment. I don't even know what else to do here. Roads, and then probably keep building military units and push them. Out of curiosity, how hard would it be to talk red into a declaration of war on blue? Pretty hard. Yeah. Okay, that probably couldn't happen. If we can survive a couple of turns, we can get purple into the war. But the loss of Arindla would be devastating. So this army almost certainly has to run down here. Fortunately, this army is made up of our best units. We have some Necrodrones, some Forager 9s, Necrodrone 10 and 11. Are those the types we see here? No. So we could reasonably assume that these units are much, much better. Obviously, we can't see their stats right now because they're in transport ships, so we just get the transport stats. Okay, well, I think this is probably about where we need to call it for now. I am out of time. I think we're facing a pretty serious existential threat here, obviously. But if we manage to survive this first wave, we don't know exactly what their military looks like. If we manage to survive this first wave, while also gathering the influence necessary to marshal Purple's forces, not only can we probably build a rest of the game-long bond with Purple off of a mutual war against the Necrophages, but we might be able to run the Necrophages out of the game, or at least to a point where they will no longer be a threat to our actual victory progress. Basically what I'm saying is, if we can survive this initial attack, which looks tricky, this might end up being a very good thing for us. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time on Monday to see if we die or not. That's pretty much what it's going to be. And we'll see you then.